All right. Okay. So as I was saying, so my dad would rarely pay. And then when he did, hey, thanks. Welcome back, Dingleberry. And so when my dad did pay, it was very begrudgingly. He would rarely consistently pay the $50. And when he gave my brother the check. I'm going to go back to the whole come live with me thing in a second. And when he did give the check for $50 to my brother, he would use a very inappropriate word to say, "Here, give this money to your such and such of a mother." Yes, Johann Sebastian Bach. I am Bach. But when it came, it was weird because when my dad would say to us, "If you ever want to come live with us, come live with us." My brother did it. Didn't last long because he didn't get along with anybody. My brother was always combative. And then when I was about, I want to say 15 or so, I wasn't getting along well with my mom. So I packed up one day and I just went over to my dad's house and I said, "Okay, I'm here to stay." And my dad said, "No, you're not. You need to go. You need to go back to your mom's house." And I was devastated. I thought, "What you said, I could come whenever I wanted to. Why would you do that type of thing?" And I was kind of like, I don't know what to say. I was devastated, but I wasn't like broken. So about 6 months later, again, I just said, "Screw it. I'm leaving my mom's house." And I literally packed my van. Well, it's my dad's van that I had borrowed for the day. And I loaded all my crap in it. And I went and I just put it all in my dad's spare bedroom. And I said, "I'm not leaving." And so I ended up living there for a couple of years. Now, I left out a whole bunch of other stuff, negative things. Like at 12, I was arrested for break and enter, theft over $5,000. Went through the youth system, was on probation for several months, had to do quite a bit of community service time. The challenge there, for me, it wasn't like, "Hey, I'm going to break into this place and I'm going to do this stuff." I broke in out of want and out of need. It wasn't a desire to do bad. It was a desire to fix a gap. We didn't have food in my house. The home I was growing up in with my mom was not wealthy. I remember growing up in a situation where my mom would go to the grocery store and literally tell me to shut my mouth, to not say anything because she was going to write a bad check to buy groceries. And so when what started out as just creeping around this, old warehouse, quickly turned into break and enter, which quickly turned into theft because we realized there was food. And the bulk of what I stole was not like, "What's up, Morgme? Welcome to the stream, kiddo." The bulk of what I stole had nothing to do with toys or guns or stuff. You know what I stole? Food. You know what else I stole? Dish soap and laundry soap. My thievery was directly linked to providing for my family. The things that I was seeing we didn't have at 12 years old. It wasn't a desire to necessarily do bad. It was actually a desire to do good. Not exonerating me from breaking and enter or for theft over $5,000. And the theft over $5,000 didn't come from the food. It came from one thing that I stole. I ended up stealing a tool. I didn't know what it was. And it was some micro spectrometer, fancy refractor doohickey. And ended up being worth like $7,000 or something like that. Some ridiculous amount of money. And so I got dinged for that. They knew it was me right away. And and when the cops came to the door, I didn't hide it. I immediately said, "Yep, I did it. Here's all this." I literally gave everything back. And ate my crow in the sense of, I wasn't a thief. I made a mistake. And so fast forward, I'm now 15. I'm fed up with life in general. I'm fed up with the fact that I'm failing miserably in school. I have no motivation. I'm very athletic, but I can't play sports because I'm failing all my classes, basically. And I have a desire to be a police officer. Like I really wanted to do that thing. So I do the right thing, and I say I'm going to join the military. So at 15, I'm now living with my dad, and he refuses to sign the paperwork. He does not want me to join the military because he thinks I am going to fail miserably. He's like, I am not going to sign that because you're going to, he basically says, he says exactly, I'm not signing because you're going to make me look bad. Right? Is that Luke? When I was a kid, I would go to shops with 2 pounds and return with bread, milk, cereal, eggs. Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, I mean, Luke, then you could do that. I mean, today you absolutely, you could. You shouldn't do it, but you could have definitely done it a lot easier than you could now. And so what I did is I hid my military application in with some benign school paperwork that my dad didn't care about, and he just signed everything without reading it because he just didn't care. It wasn't his priority at that point. So he signs the paperwork, does all the stuff. I join the military. Military radically shifts my life, gives me new focus, new hope, teaches me a lot of discipline, lets me know that I can do just about anything I set my mind to, because that is not easy. I don't know if anybody else in this chat room has served, but the military is not an easy place to be. It demands a lot of you. And if you don't know who you are going in, you know who you are coming out. And it was one of those things for me that I literally credit for most of my success later in life, in the sense of giving me direction, giving me a focus. So do the military thing, start off as a machine gunner, remuster, became a paramedic, did the whole helicopter thing and airplane, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, a lot of fun. Saw a lot of really interesting things, did a lot of really interesting things. I don't talk about it a heap. Long story short, get out of the military, go to college, study law. Want to be a police officer, remember? So halfway through studying law, my now beautiful wife, who I've known for the bulk of my life. She knew me in grade school. She knew me, and she'll tell you, if she ever comes on stream, that I was the bad kid. I was the one that her parents said stay away from. Very, very plainly. I mean, she hides that not at all. She tells people all the time, oh yeah, before I started dating Neil, I was he was the kid that I was told to stay away from. I literally had my own desk outside the principal's office. But somewhere in high school, I think because of the whole military thing and working out and whatnot, I kind of got her attention. And so one day I came home from my co-op placement, which was with the Ministry of Natural Resources. And she was sitting outside my locker, and I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? Her name's Veronica. I say, hey, Veronica, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, just sitting here. She's reading a book or whatever she was doing. I basically ignored her. I said hi, and I went to my locker and did my thing, and then go to close my locker, and suddenly she's standing beside me. I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, oh, you haven't talked in a while, and blah, blah, blah. And, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm going home. I just bought a new Jeep. New. It was a 1977 CJ. And I was going to pick it up, going to get insurance for it and all that kind of jazz. And I had to go to the payphone to call my dad to come pick me up so I could get my Jeep. Long story short, she follows me to the payphone from one side of the high school to the other, chatting the whole way. And at the end of it, she says, oh, you got a girlfriend? I'm like, no. She goes, oh, let's, maybe we should go out sometime. She gives me her number, and I'm like, yep, okay, whatever. Stick the number in my pocket, use the payphone, call my dad. I lost the number, didn't call her. Fast forward a couple weeks, she calls me. Long story short, I'm going to college. She says, I'm going with you. So here I am now going to college. Yeah, she totally chased me down, morgue me. So we move out together. We go to college. I go to college. She actually had to, because she's younger than me, she actually had to finish high school while I was in college. She had to get her last couple credits to get her diploma. And we're living together, I want to say about a year. And lo and behold, we are expecting our first kid. So I'm 19 years old. Well, I'm 20. She's 19 years old. And we're now expecting. I'm in the middle of my degree. And we're not married. Living in the basement of some house. It's not good. I have to make the dreaded phone call to my dad. And say, hey, Dad, guess what? You're going to be a grandfather. The air literally sucked out of the room. And he's just like, yeah, what's he going to say? He had his first kid at 17, But it's not good. Yeah, hey, what's up, Andy? And so we have our first kid. We move to a new town. We both start working. We get a little apartment. And I'm basically doing menial jobs for minimum wage. But one thing I am, through all of this, is determined. I am absolutely determined to not fail, to not repeat the disaster of my parents. The divorce, repeated kids out of wedlock, the whole 9 yards. So my daughter is born. We're both working part-time or full-time jobs, but in, minimum wage capacity. Yeah, true enough, brother. But things are going well in the sense that I'm getting regular promotions. I'm now a store manager. I'm made a regional manager for this company. But it's still retail. It's still relatively low pay. And my wife and I still aren't married. And my daughter is now like 3-4 years old. Oh, and by the way, we're now expecting our second kid. So my daughter's born, Marika, beautiful little girl. Her and I watch every Walt Disney movie on the world together. We know the words verbatim. And now we're expecting another one. But my first real break starts to happen. I'm given an opportunity to work in a real management position for a real company. A new organization in town opens up. It's a large grocery chain. And they're opening a 500,000 square foot warehouse. Just so happens I like food. And so I apply. And because it's new, I have a fairly good chance. And sure enough, I get it. So I get a unionized job in a brand new building with tons of available overtime. And so I can start making some real money. So I do. I get this job. I'm literally working 80 hours a week. We can start talking about, hey, do we want to buy a house? So we do. Not only do we get to buy a house, I get my wife hired in this company. And that really is the catapult for everything else. From there, I get into companies like Coca-Cola, large multinational companies like Weyerhaeuser and Garda. And not only do I become a manager and a development type person, I then turn into, this is Canada, Andy. To this point, we're still in Canada. And so I progressively work through the ranks from this, shift or lead hand to a shift manager to managing an entire warehouse to with 500 plus employees to, going to Coca-Cola, becoming an operations manager, going to a company called St. Mary's Cement and becoming a general manager, then going to a company called Weyerhaeuser, and then to Garda. And then Garda really was the big where I finally arrived, was making phenomenal cash and had all kinds of opportunity. But it was there where my wife and I decided that I was going to go back to school, and I was going to get a second degree. And thank you, Zacho. Appreciate that, buddy.
Everything's great.
Morgan, welcome back to the gym.
Everything is awesome.
And what I thought was interesting in that was my hesitation. I always pictured myself to be a guy that would not be. I'm not risk averse, I'm very much interested in trying new things and doing things that are outside the box and challenging myself to learn anything. So when my wife said, hey, let's go back to school, but at the same time, I think I want to move to the States, I was like, nah, you're crazy. I'm not doing it. I literally, because by this point now, we got the cottage, we got the boat, we got just built a new house, the whole 9 yards. And I'm going to say this as compact of a story as possible. But there's things you need to hear in here to understand kind of the journey. So we had this great job, just built a house, had the vacation spot, the whole 9 yards. And my wife says, hey, I think we're supposed to move to the States, quit our jobs and move to the States. I'm like, you're freaking crazy. That was in the summertime, early summer. September rolls around. My youngest child, 'cause by this time we were married, we have our third kid. And he's, in preschool. So he's going on field trips, and we go on a field trip to this apple orchard, beautiful apple orchard, do all this stuff. See this farmer picking the apples in late September, all the people picking the apple, beautiful farmhouse, all these rows of apple trees and amazing hedgerow in the front. And it's a field trip. I'm with my son on a field trip to an apple orchard. Big deal. I buy some apple cider, I go home. That was September. First week of October in Canada and in Michigan is deer season, open of bow hunting for deer season. And I'm a bow hunter. Apologies to anyone that does not appreciate hunting. So for a long time now, at this point, I've been, this first week of October, I go bow hunting with my dad. And lo and behold, we go bow hunting in Michigan here. It's a little town called Hale. You can look it up. It's called Hale, Michigan. And it's a week-long retreat trip thing. It's exhausting. It is not what I would call fun. It's a lot of work. If anyone's bow hunted, you know what I mean. In midweek, we would take a break. So on Wednesday or whatever the day is, kind of midweek point, we would go into town, all pile into the big 15-passenger van, and we'd rock it into town. And on this particular trip, I'm in the back of the van. There's no seats. I'm sitting on like a milk crate or something. And this is, I want to say 2012-ish. Somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact year. 2012? Don't quote me on the year. It's going to bug me now. Anyways, we're driving through town in this old, crappy farmhouse that hasn't been lived in for years is on the passenger side of the van. And I see this house. I'm thinking, what in the heck? That looks like absolute garbage. But in the front of the yard is one apple tree. And it's just like covered. And I couldn't believe it was more red than green. It was just covered in apples. The branches are touching the ground. You can tell it wants to just break. And of course, being the macho guy that I am, I start hitting all the other guys saying, look at the stupid apple tree. Because, that's what cool guys do. And I wish I took a picture, but I didn't. But it was just so, like, I couldn't believe it. So that's fine. We go into town. That evening we come back about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's time to get back in the tree stand and wait for Bambi to come by. So we do. We drive back out. We get in the tree stand. So I'm sitting there. And I'm a praying man. I don't know if you know this about me, but I happen to be an ordained minister. So I'm sitting in my tree stand. And I'm praying, just whatever. And in my prayers, it's revealed to me what the apple tree is and what the apple orchard was. And if any of you have faith, you'll understand. Nappy, I think, you're in this journey a little bit too. The Lord reveals that the apple orchard that I went to with my son is the church. It bears fruit. It does has all these people that are working. The farmer was the kind of the lead pastor and all that kind of jazz. It's all nice and neat. It's all put together. It bears fruit, it helps different people sometimes and whatnot. But the community at large does not know where it comes from, does not know where the fruit comes from. And then it was revealed as I prayed about it more that the apple tree in the old decrepit farmhouse in Michigan that had tons of apples on it was Veronica and I, was us, and that we were to bear much fruit in Michigan, right at the side of the road for all to see. That it was not that the fruit that we were bearing was going to be good for those who were eating it, but that the fruit was just going to be good for the people. Oh, my coffee's here. Thank you. I'm just telling the apple tree story at the moment. And so my wife bought me a coffee. She loves me most of the time. Sorry, Morg, I'll have a sip for you. It's actually a latte, if I'm being honest. I'm sure. Yeah, it is for sure. Cheers. So this revelation comes, and I get home from this hunting trip. It was a good hunting trip. And I say to Veronica, hey, I prayed about this, and I really think we're supposed to go to the States. This is the story. She's like, yep, I knew it. I heard it a long time ago. I just didn't say anything to you. She lays out all these Michigan universities and says, I'm ready when you are. So we do all the right things. We find all the right people. We get enrolled. We do all that stuff. And we start looking for apartments. So stick with me, guys, because this is a long story, but it is amazing. We start looking for apartments, even to buy a house, because I sell my house in Canada. We sell it for more than what we were expecting, a little over $300,000. I figure we're good. Just we need to find a house in the town that the university's in. So we make several trips from Toronto all the way here to look for apartments. Nothing. And it was a depressed area at the time, so there was tons of vacancies, but a lot of the vacancies had like mold and they were really run down and crappy. I think we looked for a year and a half, and school started in September. Made one more trip in July, just before school started. And I literally brought $80,000 cash with me because I was like desperate. I was just going to buy a house because houses in this community were super cheap at the time. Drive to Michigan, go to Jackson, calling real estate agents. I'm like, guys, I found a house. I'm literally standing at the front door of this locked house that's vacant. I have the exact amount of money on me. And I'm like calling real estate, I'm at this address, come get me. Yep, we'll be there in an hour. 2 hours goes by. 3 hours goes by. I can't get a real estate agent to show up. I have cash, and they won't come to the house. So in July, we drive all the way back home, empty-handed again, after a year and a half of looking, with no success. That weekend, that was Saturday night, I get home Sunday. I call the university, or I email the university, and I leave a message saying, hey, if you guys can find an apartment for me, I will move up there, and then I'll find something, for my family, during the first semester, and I'll bring them up afterwards. At this point, we're living in our cottage because our house is now sold and we have no place to live. The next day, Monday, I get an email back from the university. Hey, actually, we have this group this couple that is moving out of town to go on missions in Africa. Their home might be an option for you. Now, I want you to understand, the house that we had in Canada that we sold was and this is a new house that we built. It was a yellow house, red front door, kind of old farmy wooden board and batten exterior, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, fireplaces, the whole 9 yards, but it had a really tiny yard. And my son and I, and my wife and my son were praying, my youngest guy, about the house. And I'm just praying, let it be healthy, no mold, nothing like that. And my son is praying for a house with a tire swing. He just wants a house with a big backyard. And so I say to the school, yep, get me pictures, get me email, whatever the case is. And so that evening, the family that owned the house emailed me back and said, hey, here you're looking for a house. We might have something that you'd be interested in. Here's some pictures attached. Now here, pay attention for a second. My house in Canada, again, yellow house, red front door, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, fireplace, little rinky-dinky yard. House number 128, built by Melody Homes. Okay? I open up the email from this guy who lives, 6 hours away, and see, oh, hey, oh, did you get it? That's awesome. I open up his email and open the first picture, and it's of this 2-acre backyard. And lo and behold, what's sitting in one of the trees but a tire swing? So I'm like, Asher, get up here. Oh my gosh, come on, you got to see this. My son's name is Asher. I'm like, get up here, you got to see this. This is awesome, So he's all excited. He's like 5, 6 years old, whatever. He's sitting on my knee. He's looking at this house. So I click to the next picture, and it's the front of the house. And it's a picture of a yellow house with a red front door, house number 128, on a street called Melody Lane. As I read the house description, it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house with a fireplace. It is literally the identical house. So I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty freaking awesome. So I go back to the big backyard because Asher's like, oh, I want to see the tire swing. I want to see the tire swing. I open the picture of the backyard up again, and I see the second half of what I missed the first time. And it's a picture of a single apple tree that hasn't been trimmed. It's just sitting in the middle of this backyard, waiting to bear much fruit. Andy, or Dingle, if that's not a sign, that apple tree is. And I'm telling you, so this is the trick with this is the thing with the apple tree. That apple tree, for me, has been a signpost all along. And if I could show you in this building, in the back staircase, when I heard about this building, it took me a year to find it because nobody said, oh, there's a building in Jackson. You probably get it for free, blah, blah, blah. When I finally found the building and came through the back door, painted 2 stories high on that wall is a huge apple tree. I turned to the guy that was giving me the tour and I said, this is my building. He's like, excuse me? I'm like, dude, you don't understand. I said, this is my building. I said, that apple tree tells me that I will have this building. He's like, okay. And literally within a month and a half, the county signed over the lease to me. When I became ordained as a minister, the ceremony for me to get my papers and do all the official stuff, the theme for the ceremony was bearing fruit. And what did they hand out? Apples on an apple branch. Not my request. Totally they don't know the story. The apple tree thing has kind of followed me everywhere. It's been crazy. But so anyways, so we moved to the States. things go well. I get my degree, get into my senior year, and things are going great. I got a 4.2 GPA. Oh, Andy, there's a ton linking up, buddy. And I'm telling you guys just the 10,000 foot, not even the nitty gritty of the story. What's up, Albert? Glad you could make it in, buddy. Yeah, well, and I think we're actually, my wife and I are talking about writing a book. We get asked constantly to write a book. Because I'm not telling you Veronica's story. I have permission to tell her story, but her story is pretty intense. Anyways, so we get here. We obviously move into this house. Oh, and they need someone to live in the house for 4 years. My degree's 4 years. The house needs some repairs. I happen to be a really handy guy with all kinds of tools. Morg, I'll send everybody the book. Don't worry. So I'm able to do everything from, build a deck for them, trim all the trees, make an amazing apple tree bearing much fruit in the backyard, to pour a concrete sidewalk out front, redo a staircase up in their house that was covered in stairs that was solid wood and whatnot, and finish the basement and a bunch of other awesome things. So they come back. I'm in my senior year. Going into my second to last semester in November. So I graduate in May. I'm in my fall semester. And we're sitting in church. My wife and I both have this revelation for Rise Above, with this idea that this is what we're supposed to do. Now, remember, at this point, I have churches everywhere soliciting me, because I'm like the perfect demographic for what churches want. My age, my family demographic, my past experiences, and churches just love people that have that fit this experience. But I have this revelation, and immediately my mind shifts gears. I'm no longer interested in doing church. I never was, to be honest with you, anyways. And suddenly I'm, hey, Jamode, glad you could make it in, kiddo. And suddenly I'm shifted into full Rise Above mode, developing a business plan. I wrote a 52-page business plan. Started getting donations, raised $120,000 in a couple months. Literally shifted all of my theological papers that I was writing into Rise Above theological papers. So I basically worked in every element of my ideas into every theological paper I was writing. And tanked my GPA from 4.2 down to a 3.3 in the process, because obviously my professors did not want to hear about some nonprofit that I wanted to start. See this thing? Right? Oh, wait. Oh. That is a phenomenal latte. Thank you, Veronica, for getting that for me. Oh, good. I'm glad you got the stickers, Jamode. Awesome. If I offered before, if anyone's not in the Discord, I offered a while ago. If anybody wants stickers, the Risk Immerse stickers, I offered them up for free in Discord. So if you want them, just go drop me a DM in Discord, and I will happily send you a free set of Risk Immerse stickers to plaster all over your cups and stuff. And they kind of look like this guy. I don't know if you can see him, but it's a waterproof vinyl sticker. You can put on anything. You can wash them and do all kinds of stuff. So, and they're transparent. So yeah, I had some in here, the full set, but I must have took them out. Yeah, I did. Or one of my kids stole them. Yeah, just slide into DM and just throw me your address, and I promise I won't, do creepy things with your address. Trust me or don't trust me, I don't know. Anyways, I graduate. I have this business plan. We get the building. We graduate in May, get the building in August, literally launch 6 months later. So like everything happened in 1 year. And Rise Above has been a culmination since day one of every one of my experiences. From hiding under the kitchen table from my dad as he's trying to shoot everybody. Definitely won't go Google Map your address. Jmorg meme, I'd be willing to do this. If you want me to, I'll send Jamode, if you trust Jamode, I'll send Jamode another set of stickers, and then she can forward them to you. So it's only Jamode that has your address. If you're okay with that, I'd be cool with that, kiddo. So the launch of Rise Above and what it's been to me is this like perfect storm of every experience I've had. And I say this to people all the time. Your experience that you've had, it's yesterday. You can't change it. But what you can do is use it for something. And so what I've done, what Veronica and I have done here at Rise Above is we've taken our experiences, our cumulative experiences, and we've turned them into this amazing nonprofit that helps kids deal with the culmination of their experiences. To teach them how to well, Matt Nappy, we're never getting her address, buddy. She is all about the don't stalk me. And I'm just we're not getting it. I don't think she'd do it for $100. I don't think she'd do it for $1,000. I think she'd give it to Jamode, though. Jamode's a pretty solid cookie. We're all going to her wedding, Nappy. So what Rise Above has turned into is this beautiful picture of all of my past experiences, all of Veronica's past experiences, along with all of the kids' past experiences that we're now putting together to do something they never thought, that we never thought was possible. Because oftentimes when you have this negative experience over here, we think we can't get here because this thing happened over here. And so we tie this rope to ourselves with an anchor on this experience that says, because I did this, because this happened to me, I must not be able to do this. The reality of that is a complete fallacy, complete lie that we're told, not only by ourselves, but very often by others. Again, I've said it many times on stream. I'm not going to say her name. My 8th grade teacher, pulling me out by my shirt out of 8th grade class, throwing me against the wall and saying, you're going to be a loser your entire life. She tied a rope to me with a big, huge anchor out behind me. Thankfully, and this is where personalities come in. I'm about to tell you guys a pretty sensitive story in a second too. And I'm letting you know now it's very likely I'm going to cry. But it means a lot to me. And I think for all of you, especially ladies, I want you to really pay attention to this story because it's something we all need to pay attention to. So what this teacher said to me labeled me. And if my personality wasn't such... Yeah, Andy, let me know when you're back because I want you to hear this story. And I mean, I told a little bit of it in your stream, bud, but I want you to hear the full story. When she pulled me out, that literally could have set the trajectory for my entire life. And I honestly think it did, but not in the way she intended. Yeah, no problem. Instead of it being a rope with an anchor, it ended up being a catapult, a slingshot. Because of my personality, my personality is if you say no, I'm like, oh yeah? Hang on a sec. You just said I can't do something? I'm going to show you and everybody else wrong. And I'm going to prove to me that I can. I mean, I had a facilities guy, the guy that, because one of the blessings of this building is that we get maintenance for free. And I have a maintenance guy that walks through my building once a day, every day. just to make sure that, everything's cool, answer any questions we got, make sure the building's not blowing up, not flooding anywhere, not falling apart. And he just happened to walk by the stream at about 10 o'clock my time before I started and saw me setting things up and was like, hey, what are you doing? So I showed him the stream. He's like, holy crap, how'd you do this? I'm like, I don't know. Because if you could see my setup, it looks pretty intimidating. It's going to look amazing next Tuesday when I got my new Rodecaster Pro. I can't wait. So excited. We're going to do a full studio tour then too. Anyway, so he comes in and he's like, wow, this is amazing. I'm so proud of you and all the work you've done and blah, blah, blah. But again, all of this comes from my personality of, I wonder if I can do that. And that turns into this. That's the crux of my entire life. Someone says no, I say go. I want to talk about this story. I was going to wait for Andy, but he's heard it a little bit, but I don't think I can wait. I got to say it now. About 2 years ago, there's a young lady here. I'm not going to say her name for now. Know that I'm
Julian.
okay. All right. Give me a sec. I got to be... sadly, I got to take care of something. Be right back, guys. What's up? Welcome back. Sorry about that, guys. One of the things that you need to understand is I operate a live business with live people and students that need live help. And it doesn't matter whether I'm streaming or whether I'm walking down the hallways singing lullabies. When students need my help, I got to jump and go. So thank you for your patience. Those of you who stuck around, I hope you understand and give grace. Where was I? Somebody pick me up. Oh, the young lady. I was about to tell the story with the young lady. Thank you, Nappy. I appreciate you, buddy. So a couple of years ago, this young lady came into Rise Above as a expulsion from a local school here in Jackson. And kind of quiet, really reserved, but kind of a quiet leader. I don't know if there's the personality I'm talking about. It's this person that goes about her business. When things start to go a little left, she's like, hey guys, maybe we should do this, or whatever the case is. But a real presence. And I got along with her really well. She was a super nice kid, really really hit it off, and did really well. She got a lot of schoolwork done while she was here, very successful. Schools had no problem taking her back when her expulsion was done. And one of the tragedies that happened in the course of that is she started hanging around with a young man that was not healthy for her. Actually started getting her pretty deep into some other things outside of school that we weren't fully aware of. One thing leads to another. This young lady is kind of introduced to some heavier drugs, gets addicted to methamphetamines, is introduced to another much older man. They start dating. This older man ends up being a pimp and a human trafficker. The very quickly sweeps her up, takes her to a place that we don't know yet, and we lost track of her. We didn't know where she went. She stopped answering her text messages, and we didn't know where she went. The tragedy in this is we had been talking to her leading up to the day that she was kidnapped. She was wanting to come back to Rise Above. She was wanting to do more online schooling with us to get reconnected with Veronica and myself. And we missed her. We literally missed her by 12 hours. I'm not sure how, but she got to Rise Above on not even 12 hours, by half an hour. Just after we had closed, she got to Rise Above. She went into our mailbox, actually took a check from a donor, just the envelope, with a check in it, and wrote this note saying, I need your help. This is my number. Give me a call. And she stuck it on the windshield of our Rise Above van. That was on a Friday. We didn't see it till Monday. We got back. We called frantically, trying to, get through to her. Couldn't get through to her. That was months and months ago. Her mom called me a couple months ago saying, I think I know where she is at. If I find her, is it okay if she calls you? And I'm like, absolutely. That was, I want to say, second week of September this year. And so I didn't hear nothing. And then this past Thursday night, my phone rings. And it's this number I don't recognize. And the weird thing is I just had my phone and it kind of fell between the cushions on the couch and I'm like scrambling for it. I almost missed it. I finally get it. And it's a number I don't understand. I don't know what it is. It's out of the Detroit area. But I answer it. And it's, like I said, 8, 9 o'clock at night. And it's this lady. She's like, hey, this is so-and-so. I'm calling from Vista, some other thing, home. I'm like, what? And she said, would you be willing to talk to, and she said the girl's name. And I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely. And so, welcome back, Andy. I'm just telling the story kind of that I planted the seed of on your stream the other day, buddy. And so the phone rings. It's this lady. She says, you willing to talk to her? I'm like, yes, absolutely. She comes on the phone, and all I hear, I'm saying, hello, hello, is anybody there? And she's like, oh, hello, Mr. Fernandez. And it's this really soft, really meek, clearly distressed voice. And I'm like, hey, kiddo, how are you? And she just starts sobbing. And, hey, what's up, Evan? And she starts sobbing. And she's like, oh, Mr. Fernandez, I've made some mistakes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm thinking, you made mistakes? You didn't make any mistakes. This poor girl was taken advantage of by all these freaking losers. And here she is now thinking she's got this rope attached to her that she made mistakes. And she's like, Mr. Fernandez, I want to come back. I want to come home. Can I come to Rise Above? I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, what do I need to do? How do I help you? So we go through this journey for a couple of minutes talking about what she needs to do and some legal things that she now has to do because of some charges she picked up while she was strung out on meth and working for this loser. And then she said something to me that I will never, ever, ever forget. And she said, Mr. Fernandez, since the day I met you, I always saw you as my real father. My dad could never do for me what you have already done for me. And she said, thank you. And I'm like, now both of us are crying on the phone. I'm like, kiddo, I'm always here for you. And I said, let's just do the things now so we can get you back here. And it's in that moment, as you're sitting there talking to this 16-year-old girl that's just gone through freaking hell. This girl has gone through hell. And all of these idiots that used her for whatever BS, to where now this girl has to jump through hoops just to come home. Ask me how I got here. Ask me why we do this. If we do nothing else, and you hear this all the time, if we just save one, hell yes, that frickin' is true. If we do nothing else but save this little girl, I'll shut the frickin' doors tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks, me, Uncle Jim.
Everything's great.
Because she's worth it.
Everything.
She's
is
worth the
awesome.
hundreds of thousands of dollars that we've spent to date to do a tenth of the work that we've done. She's worth every penny. And so will the next one, and the next one, and the next one. That's why your subscriptions matter. That's why your donations matter. That's why your bits matter. I don't take for a second, Nappy and Dingle, and everyone that's subscribed, your donations and your bits, for a second, I don't take any of that for granted. Know that for everything that you guys do, Uncle Jim, your donation here just now, that $250 is going directly to help this young lady. 100%. And Andy, I was wrecked. I am wrecked. Very much so. I'm telling you, when this young lady comes back, I've already started thinking about it. I got a couple of affluent young ladies in town, we're taking her shopping. We're going to totally kit her out with new wardrobe, get her all dolled up, make her look like a princess. Can't wait. I wish I could go. It's one of those things where I got to step back. Dad can't, I can be there, but I can't be there. So I know Veronica's going to go. But it's one of those things where, we just want to get in there and make her feel normal again and make sure that whatever rope was attached to her from that idiot a year ago, that we chop that sucker off and make sure that she's made whole again. When you think of the experience from hiding under the kitchen table, having guns pointed at you, to being molested. This is another part I didn't tell you guys, but molested by my brother, to the tragedy that was my education, to having children very early, too early, to having parents that still to this day don't get along, struggling through all the various different jobs. You think how tragic my life could have been. Last week's message was about people. Do you make people your priority? I'm telling you right now, guys, if you take your cumulative experiences and turn them into fuel for how you can impact people, I'm telling you right now, you will literally save people's lives. If this is not a question of, somebody said the other day, you must make you so happy. No, happy's the wrong freaking word. It brings absolute joy. Happy is fleeting. Happy is a moment. I'm happy my wife brought me a coffee. I have joy that my wife remembered me and loves me enough to call me and say, hey, I'm thinking about you and the thought that you might want a coffee. That will never leave me. That's the love, is joy, absolute joy that this young lady called me and would even hint, let alone say full on, that she sees me as a valid replacement for her biological father. As Andy says, if that doesn't wreck you, I don't know what does. Thank you, Evan. Appreciate that, buddy. Sat Nappy, everything that makes you who you are reaffirms that I made the right choice. Yeah, thanks, buddy. I really appreciate you as well, Nap. I appreciate all you guys, honestly. Like, if you could understand the journey my mind has been on, particularly the past couple of years, to get me to the point of where we are now, it's not been easy. Living in a nonprofit world, and in Nappy, this is one of the things I've kind of hinted at a few different times. It's almost like living paycheck to paycheck because you're always fundraising, you're always doing this stuff to try and ensure that next month you and your staff can continue to do this work. And we are blessed by great sponsors and whatnot, but it's a lot of stress, and I'm thankful to get to know all you guys, because you guys, not to sound weird or anything, but you guys take my stress away. When I mean, not to take away from my family, my wife, and my my people around me here, but I mean, this is one of those things where I get to go on a journey with you guys, where you guys you understand exactly what I'm doing. Like my wife doesn't understand this. She doesn't get Twitch and computers in general. She doesn't understand. So it's a place where I can come in and I can have common conversations with people who have, common concerns. And Andy, it was you that responded best, I think, when I said it last time. There's one thing that happens on a stream, And this is the thing that I love and that I hope to write a paper about someday. It's this idea, and I'm pointing at chat, right? There is no skin color in there. There is no accent. I can't see anyone's age. Well, unless Morg Meme says dude again. That kind of puts her back in the 90s a little bit. But I can't see age. I can't see whether you're a supermodel or whether you're, you know, like someone like, if you look like Soggy Waffles. I mean, that guy's a bit kind of funny looking. But, you know, oh, hey, Soggy, what's up, buddy? I didn't even see a creep in there. But my point is, we're all equal here. We are all one and the same in this place. And the beauty is we all have a story. And that's why when I had the idea to do this on Twitch, you know I love you, Soggy. Don't worry, buddy. At first, people were like, wow, really? I don't know. But then everyone was like, yeah, that makes total sense. Because we all have the story. We all have the good, the bad, and the ugly. But not often do we have an opportunity to talk about it, to work through it together. You know, we all give out of a common desire to help others. Like when you give to Chaka, when you give to Soggy, when you give to Andy or to Nappy or whoever you're giving to, you're giving because you have a desire to help them do something.
Everything's great.
Whatever that thing
Everything
is.
awesome.
Oh, Celery Bear, what's up, buddy? Thank you for the sub, man. You know what? We've had a few different subscriptions today. So because of that, I am going to do some end of stream push-ups today just to say thank you to everybody. Appreciate all of you. What's up, Celery Bear? Yay! Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. You know, it's this idea that no matter what, we are all one. We all have the same needs and wants. We all have the same desires, this heart desire of to feel loved and to love. It's good noon now. Yeah, it's 12:38. Same time zone as you. You're in Toronto, buddy. At the end of the day, we're all the same. I mean, as a Canadian, I'd be honest with you, one of the hardest things that I had coming to the States is this idea of defining people by race. I don't get that. I still don't get it. It's a trap to me. It's a big trap to try and create divisiveness, to divide people. Long story short, I appreciate each and every one of you for your time and your willingness to step into my life and to be a part of this conversation. So one of the things, this is the next part. Exactly, Morg Meme. Thank you. This is the next thing. So there is something coming up. I have some more changes coming, Andy, because I know you like when I spend money in the studio. There's a couple changes coming to confirm Morg Meme's human. Yay! So I have new lighting coming. So this olive drab kind of, well, even though I'm, normally because I'm Portuguese, olive drab. I have some new lighting coming for both me and my guest. So we'll be better lit, illuminated, as it were. Yeah, I agree, Evan. Very good point, buddy. So I have that lighting coming. I have my Rodecaster Pro coming. Oh, speaking of that, yeah, I have one of those, don't I? Where you at? Get it. Get it. Oh, Soggy. Thank you, buddy.
Okay.
Who got him? Hogspit, which is in here a lot.
Great.
Yeah, High and
Everything
Shrugs.
is
She's been in
awesome.
here. Yeah. Sweetie, I haven't seen her in a little bit. Reagan Clark. Been in here a bit. Yeah, so there's a few that you... Nice. Thank you, Soggy. Appreciate you, brother.
Okay.
I owe you push-ups.
Everything's great.
And Andy, I also
Everything
fiddled
is
with my
awesome.
stinger a little bit too. So it's going to be a little different. transition now. So yeah, the other thing I'm getting is this
Everything's
Rodecaster
great.
Pro. It's called.
Everything is
So the Rodecaster
awesome.
Pro is going to allow me to do something that is very different than any other stream. Another Twitch first. This guy.
Okay.
Not only are we doing this
Everything's
IRL, just chatting.
Everything
Thank you, Andy,
is
for helping me
awesome.
switch the title to just chatting. Not only we're going to switch that, we are now going to take phone calls. Ba-ba-da-ba.
Okay.
You too can call in
Everything's great.
to the stream.
Everything is awesome.
Yep, that's going to be a thing. Trying to figure out whether I'm going to do the whole Google phone number thing. Yeah, Morg meme, it's going to be epic. So now if something touches you in the sense of a topic where you're like, oh, I just really, typing is just not doing what I want to say justice. This Rodecaster Pro will, even have the same phone case, will allow you to call in. So I can literally hook my phone up to it. It's Bluetooth. Hook my phone up to it, and you guys can call in. So, and I would say this. If you are going to gift subs, if you are going to do a dono or bits, I want you to call me. I want you to call. And I want you to tell me what inspired you to gift whatever you end up giving. And Evan, that's fine. You can do the whole traditional thing. We can do Discord if that works for you. This allows me to hook directly into Discord as well. I mean, I can do Discord, but the Rodecaster is just, it's night and day different than anything that most people are using. So we can do Discord. We can do, what's the other phone app thing that everyone uses? What's that called? Skype? Yeah, that's a thing. And it's literally, like I said, next Monday, I will do, as long as we can chat. If you have like WhatsApp, what's that thing? Andy, is that what you gave me the other day? You made me hook up with the whole, what was that thing called? Is that WhatsApp? Yeah, it's WhatsApp. You're folks, you don't want to get beat up. All right, speaking of getting beat up. So Evan, yeah, we can do Discord. We can do a direct message through Discord that way. Yeah. Yeah, what's up, Granddad? Thanks for calling me old. So speaking of getting beat up, let's do Snapchat. Can you do video through Snapchat? I know Snapchat is a video, but isn't it like too short? All right, so let's go. I owe Soggy Waffle some push-ups here. So yeah, you can call it Snapchat. Sure. There we go. Dono Camp. 25 push-ups.
The main event of the evening is time.
Far enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Woo! Dono Cam's out of focus. Well, that's no good. I wonder why that is. Are you trying to tell me that I got to do another 25 push-ups because they weren't in focus? It goes all southern because I can't talk properly. I'm just going so fast that this looks blurry. Yeah, something like that. Too swole, can't focus. I'm sure you probably could, Morg, me. Yeah, I don't know why that's out of focus. That's kind of weird. I'll have to check it out. Maybe I did kind of change position a little bit. Maybe I was too close to the wall instead of being too Too far away. Yeah, so one of the things I'm hoping to do in the future, so yeah, we can take phone calls now. That's a thing. Discord conversations super quick and easy now with this new board. Next Monday, I'll do a full studio tour, which sucks because that means I'm going to have to clean my studio. Oh my gosh. That's a good thing, I guess. We'll do a full studio tour. I'll figure out how to take the camera off the post doohickey here and do a proper walk around tour. And then, assuming we can get this young lady out of the home that she's in and get her into back into Rise Above, my goal is to have her on stream. I want all you guys to come in when I have her on stream and encourage the hell out of her. Tell her how much she's loved. That would be awesome. Yeah, so would I. And that's a total, have everyone call in and say awesome things to her and drop messages. One of the things that we've done in the studio here is I've added another full computer on the other side here. So, because my guest before couldn't see chat and watch the stream as you guys were talking and stuff. And so now she'll be able to follow along and any of my guests will be able to follow along now. It would be awesome. Yeah, it would be, I can't wait. I am literally I'm on pins and needles almost waiting for her to call and say, hey, I'm back. And so to go from where she was to being back here with us and to have so many encouraging voices around her, telling her that she has arrived and that she can do anything would be just super exciting. Yeah, so coming up next week. So, and I don't know if you guys noticed the new Dono Cam. I'm going to switch back to Dono Cam for a second. I don't know if you guys noticed the new Dono Cam. Can you guys hear me when the Stinger's playing, by the way? So when this is Stinger thing is on, can you still hear my voice? So here's the new, okay, cool. Thanks, Mikey. So here's the new frame for that. That recently just changed as well. So that looks pretty cool. I like it a lot. Oh, more Mr. Poggy Waffles. You don't even begin to understand how much I would love to have that happen. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, it's having it set up this way is it's a bit long. I want to shorten it by a second or so, but yeah, it works really well. Pains. Oh, I'd love to have so many of you guys. Well, all of you guys, really, because all you guys got a story, right? So yeah, so we'll next week I'm going to highlight some of the new things on the stream that are coming up, and Celery Bear, I'm telling you right now, buddy, I don't even know what I would do. The thing is, so if you Celery Bear, listen to me now. One dono of $100 gets you 25 push-ups. If you're smart, like Nappy is, and like Dingleberry are, they donated $20 at a time, which made me do 200 over. It was 220, 225 last stream. Because if you just donate 100, it's one dono, so that gets you 25 push-ups. If you donate 20 at a time, it's over and over and over. And I got done my stream last week and I was like, oh, man. Andy, on a serious note, how many? Oh, I don't know. I'm not selling out, brother. None of this money's mine. I don't care. I ain't selling nothing out. I'm giving money to a great cause. You guys are giving money to a great cause. I'll do 1,000 push-ups. You want me to do 1,000 push-ups? I will start today, finish next week if I have to. If I know that these kids are getting supported, set it up. How many do I think I could do, Andy? I don't know, buddy. I bet you could probably do in one go. It's probably 75, 100. You know, Andy, you joke. We're gonna Mrs. H, who's constantly has been in the stream quite a bit over the past little while. We're gonna be doing a full charity stream over the next in the next couple of months. So stay tuned to that. You're going to see that supported by several streamers, not just myself and Mrs. H. Andy, a lot of the folks actually in England, a lot of English streamers are going to be supporting that as well. So I'll be putting some information up about that here fairly soon. What do you mean, what the hell, Nappy? You don't think I can do that many? I can do that many. If Celery or anybody ever gives, Nappy, if you were ever to give that much again, I will do as many as I can till I just die. How about that? We'll do that as anything over $100 or up. It's just Neil does push-ups till he dies. How about that? So we get one good dono, then there's no more, no more Neil. Anyways, yeah, it's just one of those things. People are saying I'm not smart. Why not? Why would you not be smart? I want to see where it says you're not smart. Not be smart? Oh, it's just soggy. Pfft. His opinion matters. Not. Celery Berry's a smart cookie, though. I don't want to come. But honestly, guys, like understand that my willingness, my desire to do the push-ups is purely just to give you guys something to laugh at and that sort of thing. It's not a gimmick by any stretch. It's one of those things where I just thought it'd be fun for you guys to watch me work my tail off instead of just talking, because it's just fun. Because I also want to honor the gift, and so you guys know you're being bullied now. Oh, Soggy. Whisper me, we'll help you. Oh, look at Morgan with the bye. Later, bro. Yeah, it really is, guys. It's just it's a way for me to honor what you've done and to say thank you in kind of a quirky, fun way. Because everyone just says, oh, thanks for the bits, thanks for the donos, whatever the case is. I think it's a bit different, It's the way of some people flexing and saying the gun shows that. Where was it? Oh, it was my youngest guy, Asher. We were in Canada, and we were at this intersection where like a road turned into like a T, and you could turn left or right. And my wife Veronica happened to say, "Oh, no, there's a gun store right there." And Asher, my youngest guy, that's not a gun store. And we're like, what are you talking about? He goes, no, the gun store's right here. And we're like, what are you talking about? And he goes, no, these guns right here. And he starts pointing at his arm. Oh, he's like 4.5 years old, something like that. I thought, what in the world? It was hilarious. It's funny, Morgan, I actually have a kilt. When I was in the military, I belonged to a Scottish regiment. I wore a kilt as part of my kit years ago. We have in behind Rise Above here I have a full baseball diamond. I have I want to say it's almost 25 acres. It's settled. We could definitely get creative that way. That's for darn sure. But yeah, so I want to bring up the charity stream thing. So as a point of reference, one of the things that we're going to be doing in probably the very near future, we're working through some of the details of it right now, making some of the graphics for it and whatnot, is we'll be doing, Mrs. H and I will be doing a Kickstart charity stream for probably an hour, or I shouldn't say an hour or two, for a couple of hours or more, where we're going to talk about mental health specifically, because Mrs. H and I have a connection that way. She has gone through a lot in her life, almost like this young lady that I spoke about, and she just wants to raise awareness, as obviously do I. And so we're going to do a charity stream just to raise awareness, and then encourage folks that want to donate towards Rise Above, they can. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kick the stream out to other streamers. So if somebody that you all know, and I will come to you guys at some point and say, hey, I want you to help me find other streamers. But Mrs. H has already connected several folks out of England, where she's based, to run for an entire year a link. Almost see the Stream Elements link in the chat where it says, do you all know bits, donations, blah, blah, they're going to run that type of a link into their chats as well, and on their stream to all support
Oh my
Rise
God,
Above
we're the
for
luckiest.
a period of time.
I
Buddy,
am.
here it begins for the
I
kids. Thanks,
am
buddy. I owe
the
you 25
luckiest.
push-ups. Give me a sec. Let me finish the story. So then what's going to happen is these folks are going to run this on their stream. So, Evan, this is hopefully going to happen within the next month or so, buddy. We're working out some of the details of it now, getting some of the graphics done. I'm going to commission some graphics, I think this week or next. I got to talk to Mrs. H. She's a graphic artist as well. And if anyone wants, if Mrs. H is ever in chat, or if you ever have a friend, if you're friends with her, whatever the case is, she does do Twitch emotes and things like that. So I encourage you to check her out. I'm sure her pricing is very reasonable. And so what will happen once it gets kicked out to these other streamers, I will likely be a guest host on streams with them where I'll come and play games and I mean, pretty much wreck their stream, I'm sure, because I suck at games. But it'll be funny, if nothing else. And then obviously the goal is to raise as much money for Rise Above
Oh
over the
my
course of that
God,
year
we're
as
the
possible.
luckiest.
So, dingle.
I am.
people.
I am.
Don't do
am
this.
the luckiest.
And I am the luckiest, as are all of these kids. So just be aware of that. That's coming soon. And yes, indeed, we will. And so, Morg meme, I want to jump back before I forget. The whole throwing the log thing with the kilt on, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll videotape it and I'll play it as a on the screen for you guys one day. I'll grab. You've never heard Choco singing that? That's from a stream. I got permission from everybody to use. I got OG Pickles singing. I got Choco singing. I got epic folks all saying all kinds of great things. So, yeah. So Morg, I will definitely do that for you. I'll videotape it. I already have the log here. I just got to grab the kilt. And so the real question is, will I get a ding if I do it shirtless? Will Twitch ding me if I go shirtless on Twitch? Or do I have to wear a tank top? Nope, I can't. Or nope, they won't ding me, Nappy. No nipples. Okay, so I have to put pasties on. Okay, I'll wear a tank top. Yeah, you do never know with Twitch, so. Oh, really, Nappy? Okay, well, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what... You have 2 spare ones for me there, Andy? I'm sure you do. Okay, I owe you guys 50 push-ups. 25 for the great Nappy and 25 for Dingle. And Jamo, can you do me a favor? Can you throw the little thing in there that says to get Riskimers to do push-ups, donate, blah, blah, blah. Can you throw that up for me, please? Because I'm doing 25. You researched it, Nappy? Okay, cool. Yeah, see, it's 20. I've been doing 25 push-ups. I'm just going to say this now. I've been throwing 5 bonus push-ups in every day. It's only 20. That's the kind of guy I am. I'm the above and beyond guy. I'm just saying. Just saying. Above and beyond. This guy. Bonus hype. Whoop, whoop. That's right, Diablo. All right, so, well, hold on. Okay, so I've got to go do 50 push-ups, 25 for Nappy, 25 for Dingle, because they are, as usual, killing it. Appreciate you guys. Give me 2 seconds. Hopefully, we're in focus this time. Let's see. Dono Cam.
The main event of the evening is time!
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
lift it. Whoo!
Son of a gun. Whew. You know, you've reached a certain age in life when you just say to heck with it. And no morgue meme. Or was it morgue meme? No, it was Jimode. No, it doesn't count. Dingleberry, those triceps are bigger than my whole arm. That is a true statement. And one of my new students started a couple weeks ago, but officially started a couple weeks ago. He's only been here a couple days. I walked in the office to his classroom today, and I have a little bit of a tight shirt on today. It's my Chaco, as the people at the gym say, it's a schmedium. It's a small medium. And he's like, dude, your arms are the size of my thigh. But no, Shimode. Extra medium. I buy larges. They just don't fit. You know what happens? The shirts fit fine. It is the arms. They creep up and they become like tank tops. Uncle Jim the Tank story of my life. Yeah, I know. You can feel that tired. I'm sure you can, Celery. Yeah, and Nappy, what were you saying about the 5 for 5? Yeah, 5 for 5. That works out, right? Yeah. But no, Jamode, watching me do push-ups does not count as your exercise for the day. Just for the record. You say as you eat mac and cheese. And that's 20 push-ups for 5. Hang on a sec. Huh? Okay, I'm gonna be 5 minutes. Okay. So 20 push-ups for 5, nice. So if I donate 100, that would be 25 push-ups. One dono. See, it's the wording. We got semantics. Well, you tell me. What's it worth? So if I do 100, if you donate $100, what should it be? Silly Bear, I'll donate my account. Dude, I'll tell you right now. That's like, see you in 2025. I totally want to do like a 400 push-ups by your math. Oy vey. I do want to do a workout stream, by the way. But all right, guys, girls, I appreciate you all. Know that the stream today meant a lot to me in the sense of getting the story out of why we're here, of where my heart is at, what the value this places on you guys for me, and hopefully you guys, me for you guys, in the sense of what you get out of it. I hope you begin to understand even just the surface of the importance of this work, and indeed the importance of things like Nappy and Dingle's donations today, plus the subscriptions from Soggy. Thank you very much, buddy. We also had some folks that through some hosts and some follows during the week. Vishnu and High on Shrugs followed us this week while we were off, as well as some others. So thank you everyone who followed. I came back for the crying. Yeah, I know we've got some students that need me right now, so I do got to get back. I appreciate all of you being here today. Know that we have some good guests coming up here, probably the next week or the week after, and I appreciate all of you. Celery, thanks for the subbing, buddy. Appreciate you coming in and doing that today. Uncle Jim, thanks for your sub. resub, I should say. Soggy for the gifted sub. Zacho came back, gave a gifted sub, and subbed himself today. Yeah, it's been a good day. You guys have all been good in supporting the work that we do, and thank you, Uncle Jim. I agree with you 1,000%. That it not only does the finances support the organization, but the people that get to sit in and to be a part of the conversation. I think that there's value to everyone for this. So hang tight, guys, please. I'd love to raid Air Max. I love raiding Air Max. He's such a good guy. He's so genuine, and he's a guy that I wish we could all get to. Just go in there and spam some Risk Emergency emotes, throw some hearts at him, let him know that that we're all there and that we love him. So if you could do that, that'd be great. I'll be touching base with you guys in a little bit. And be ready next week. We're going to do a studio tour and talk a little bit more about our next subject. So be ready. Andy Sellerbeer, Poggy Waffles, Morg Meme, all you people. Love you all. Be good. See you in a couple days. Bye for now. I'll see you in the other streams.